Hi, this is going to be a short demo of Enji AI, where I would show you how you as a CTO can benefit from getting the system like this. So I can start with presenting one module, which we call colleagues, where basically all your people that you work with are located. Of course, our colleagues here, and this, by the way, is a production. Right? Our colleagues here are just employees of the company. Now, for you, it might be all the people that you're working with, all the people that you actually inputted in the system. But for now, let's concentrate on the functionality. As you can see here, it's a list of people, right? Now, this is not as useful as it might be, although it is still pretty useful, and you can actually direct on any of those and find out, how much time they spend, where they spend their time, and which project they participate in, etc. Now, when we go back, we can actually see KPIs. So KPIs is a very interesting thing that is related to performance of the developers. Yes, this would not be so much relevant for other roles, although some of it might be relevant. But for the developers, especially, for example, we can see how many commits they make, which projects they are in, how many hours they log, how do they estimate the task, if they actually do the estimations, and whether those estimations are actually correct. As you can see, for example, here, this guy, Nikita Halezin, actually gets stuff pretty accurately, I would say, out of those which he estimates, right? And this ends up in like a task done, right? Where we can actually see how much task the person has already done. And we can see how effective they are in delivering what they deliver. At the end of the day, we really want to see whether the person is actually accomplishing something or just doing the work for the sake of doing the work. This module is more or less already helping us, but of course the real power of Enji is unlocked in the projects tab. Now, to show you some of the functionality in the projects tab, I'm gonna switch over to staging, where we have a demo projects or dummy projects. And but things are pretty accurate here if we are looking, for example, at this project, the project Enji itself. So navigating to the project, you actually see how the project performance in general. You can see the daily digest or even a weekly digest, where you would be able to see as a CTO, like what have the team done, what are the issues and blockers, what is currently on their plates, etc. And this you get either daily or weekly, which is nice, and you can customize even the schedule here. Now, for the rest of the stuff, it's actually quite a lot of things to talk about here. Some metrics here, if these are important to you, you can check the score of Enji integration, which means that you can track code, right? You can track ticketing system, you can track Slack and other tools that the developers are using to basically do what they do. Now, a very interesting thing is here, the activity feed. So these are all the signals that the team produces, the team sends to do what they do. And it's for you to basically identify what is important for you as a signal. But here we have like commits, merge requests, issues that are created, and then comments in the issues, and then some issues are transitioned, work logs, stand-ups. We practice asynchronous stand-ups as well, and alerts, right? But you can definitely modify those if you need some specific, I would say, digital footprints to track, right? To be able to see if they are here or not. As for the stand-ups, since we practice asynchronous stand-ups, you can actually see the stand-ups here. Now, because it's a demo project, right, you don't see anything there, but in real projects you would be able to see what are they doing today, what have they done yesterday, and what were the blockers or some of the good things. This is actually pretty handy if it comes to managing remote workers as well, so that you don't have to like ping everyone and always bring them up together to just waste time while one by one they report to you. It's just that very effective way to kind of get overall context, and this is visible not only to you but to the rest of the team as well. Now, work logs is all good, and you can literally see the budget of the project, how much time is spent, and therefore how much money is spent on the project. You can tie it not only to the hourly rates, you can tie it to like monthly salary of people, so that you can see clearly how much your team spend daily on stuff. Now, of course, if you have outsourced workers, this is even more handy, because then you would be able to identify like where did the money go, right? And yeah, basically you can set up a lot of alerts, and you can set it up in the project settings, but in general the alerts are all about performance, and if you need more alerts, we would be really happy to add them if they would be of a help to you. The great thing about this is actually the copilot. In the Enji Copilot, you can literally chat with your project, not going to project managers or whatever team managers and try to get the information from them. So unless the information is in the system, you actually can chat about it. Yeah, we can view the history of chat with the project and with the ng. So here I had a bunch of prompts. So for example, this prompt that I've used to basically analyze what are the issues in the project, and I asked it to generate me some insights. So currently I see this, right? Overloaded QA, testing bottlenecks, QAs are not ever enough, communication and task ownership ambiguity. This is actually serious problems. So in fact, all of these problems are true. So when you see the team's performance in reality, you would face the same issues, and these are based on not on like assumptions or hallucinations. We're actually working really hard to decrease the amount of hallucinations it generates, and we are really close to zero in that. But the interesting thing is that you can literally chat with your project and see like what people have done. It makes some conclusions. So this comes very handy if you need to think about the project while not being like on a sync with the people and not interviewing each of them one by one. So as for the other modules, I can tell that well, you have a company's activities module, which just displays all the digital footprints that the team produces, and it just bumps into this company's activities feed. It's a simple feed, nothing really complex or complicated here. But the other really interesting stuff is related to finances, HR, and management. Going quickly through these modules, I think I would be able to tell you what we have on the plate with this NG, because NG is actually quite a gigantic system, but it also helps top management and even middle management to make decisions faster. Finance module is, to be honest, mostly for the owners of companies such as ourselves. So it's companies that sells workforce and sells the software development services, because it's based on the assumptions that there are projects that are profitable, that there are employees that we can outstaff, or we can create the teams to outsource certain projects, and hence we can see um, whether somebody is profitable to the company or somebody is actually not really profitable, in fact brings losses to the company. However, I think most of the stuff that is related to finance model is actually for CEOs or CFOs to basically look into. Now, for CTOs, there is really not so much to look into, or at least you might consider looking for internal cost report where you would be able to see how, like, what's the rates of the guys that you actually put in the teams, right? And how overall they perform, and then you will be able to make some conclusions based on that. Otherwise, I think we can skip this module so far because mm, more stuff there are on the other modules for you, not for this one. Now, where it comes more in handy is these ones. So we have the module that is dedicated to skill matrices, where you can actually assess people based on your own skill matrix. We can have like a review and grading process established here. We can track one-on-ones, who does one-on-ones with whom, and who mentors whom as well. And we can even see what people are saying about other people in the comments, for example, after one-on-ones, right? So that actually makes it super easy to identify who has some issues, who have some problems or blockers, or who is really happy just and excited to work, right? Now, we also keep track of revisions, the salary revisions, because if if we do not properly manage the salaries, we can get in trouble when we are managing the teams, especially remote teams. Now, where it would be really nice, I think, to have you is this management dashboard. So basically, this is a scope of work planning, and here you can actually see who is overworking, for example, who has like I don't know, 520 hours allocated to them, right? And who is not really allocated enough, so who has very few hours allocated to them in certain projects or teams, right? This is very useful to understand who needs more load and who needs actually less load, and who is completely free. Now, we also have this stand-ups module, which allows you to look through every single person's stand-up, and you can filter it by project, you can filter it by people, you can search something in the stand-ups, etc. So NG, as a result, can be quite useful for you to understand the very basics of the team dynamics, right? How they perform in a certain projects, which artifacts are produced in certain projects. You can talk with the projects and find out the statuses of certain bigger features or certain technical depths, right? These are all the things that you can obtain through the project activity feed, and see how how things are moving, if they are actually moving, if people are doing their work or not really doing much. And also you would be able to see how they are loaded, if they are multitasking or not, and a lot of other information. So my question to you here is, I mean, obviously this is staging, right? So production ready projects look a bit more decent, a bit more nicer, because this is staging it, it's totally a mess. But out of what you have seen so far, was there anything useful to you in particular? Maybe, one of the things that we are proud of is our Copilot. So maybe you really want to see how Copilot would actually perform on a production ready project. Just let me know. I can show you like lots of stuff, how we can prompt it, how we can, how it performs, how it can identify some issues or insights, or just advise you whom to fire first, etc. And maybe if there is anything else that caught your eye that you're really curious about learning, feel free to ping me. I'm always here trying to help people make better, faster, more informed, evidence-based decisions.